Welcome back to Factorio running SpaceX on extreme settings. If you remember last time, we were starting to set up this copper ore mine to supply our, I'm calling it distributed smelting processing up here. We did finally get the completion of the bot order for here, so we were able to proceed with various orders to set up the miners and some trains, but you will note that this is an active order at this supply station, and of course we are waiting on logistic bots. There's only about 50 in this network. Let's just check that. Yeah, there's only 49 logistic bots serving this, so they're not going anywhere fast. Also, it's perhaps worth noting that we're getting some progress on diminishing these. This patch here is now 4.9, this patch 1.8. Follow that through, we kind of need to get through these. They are still in the 30,000s more or less, so there is still quite a lot to get through if we want to just be able to move this along without reworking how we're doing this whole thing. But we're certainly getting there. Down the other end, we have this one here, 479,000. It won't be that long before this whole mine will be wrapped up. Let's zoom in again so that we can follow through from this point. It's really just the bottom two there, but I think we also need to get rid of the bottom couple here in order to continue the main trunk line along. Doesn't touch a lot, but it does touch. So we're getting close. Some other things to note. This was our first copper mine when we set the slot up, and remember it was at 30 million, so we've used 19 million out of that copper mine. And I guess another thing to address would be, what am I going to do with the trains that we free up from when these things are exhausted? There's actually some up here as well that this little iron outpost is dying fast. This iron is probably not too long for the world. This copper is certainly not, nor is this one. I'm thinking that we can probably lower the number of trains going into here by at least 1 or 2 per type of ore, so not stone of course, but copper and iron we can probably lower by drop off a couple of trains now that we've got this alternative. And beyond that I can double up, like this one here can support double train, so can that one probably, although they are actually starting to go down a bit. That's dropping quite fast too. The demand I'm actually putting on some of these is more than I possibly was giving it credit for, so yeah, we will probably have to open up a few additional mines. It's almost gone. We'll double up some of the bigger ones, maybe. Wow. But yeah, we are going to have to open up some more mines to replace them as well. Anyway, I'm over here now, and the reason I'm over here is because the dry dock assembly component uses robots. That's this one here. We've got 412 of the assembly robots. This is the assembly robots here. If you look at the formula for assembly robots, they take 5 construction robots, so we're just not producing robots fast enough. You can see that there are actually enough of the other items that only needs 1 speed module, 1 efficiency module, and 5 low density structures. They're clearly sitting there. Oh, that's, oh dear, I didn't want it to do that. Take these away, guys. I do not need them. The assembly the dry dock structural component, that's advancing reasonably well. We're up to 121. We're almost halfway through that one, in fact, which is pretty good. The satellites, when that gets up to 367, so in other words only 58 more, we will be able to do the next bot speed research, which needs 128 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 128. We can always come back and do some mining productivity research as well. I don't think this increases at nearly the exponential rate the bot speed does, so potentially maybe one more level of this and then some levels of that to help our supplies last out. I certainly don't see any need to turn off satellite production just yet, but we certainly do need to accelerate this, and of course the situation over here where we're waiting on logistic bots. We may not need to extend the number of logistic bots too much when we start closing down some of these other mines, but we definitely need bots to be created faster so that we can get through the dry dock assembly components. So that is why I am up here. Now the frames are what is holding us up, I believe. These things are producing, they only take 10 seconds, and they've been sped up to 8.75 times speed, so it's almost 1 a second. This poor guy over here, on the other hand, takes 20 seconds, and has only been sped up 5.5 times, so we could probably do another 3 of these without too much difficulty. Batteries, I wonder, do they need any more help? Batteries take 5 seconds. How many do we need in here? 2. They take 5. That's interesting. Doesn't appear to have been maxed out. Oh, yes it does. We don't need those. Well, we may need them. So they take 5 seconds, so we can make 4 plus a bit, and this thing needs only 2 of them. So if I was to make more of these, I could probably make 1 more without needing another one of these, but then I would need another one of these. I don't need these guys, but I do need these guys. Pain. I don't need any of this stuff. I don't need these guys. I just need batteries going into here. We have 200 batteries there. What's the speed of this thing? 5.6 plus 30%. Basically 1 a second. Plus that extra 30%. Or 1.3 a second. What's this thing again? We use 2. Use 1 every 10 seconds. We need 2. Yeah, so we need 1 every 10 seconds, but it's been sped up 5.5 times, so we need like 1 every 2 seconds, so one of these can probably support 2 of these. Maybe that's all that it can do. We just make another one of these and we create about another 3 of these and see how we go. Maybe. Let's start with that. Alright, so that's the batteries. Now, you will actually be doing that. And need an extra one. Extra one of those. We're going to need a little bit more of this stuff. It's 1, 2. Electronic circuits. How do we do that? What else do you need? Steel, batteries, electric engines. That needs to be reversed around. And we need somewhere to output this stuff. Go there. Don't have to be that close. Power. Just one here. Whoops. Was not what I wanted to do at all. Now. Got too much of just about everything. Okay, so you can put your stuff up here. And then we can have another assembly down here. Do the same stuff. Actually need 4 of you. And you just have a request chest. also request batteries, the amount that should do. And some beacons finally. Does that one affect it? It should do, yes. There we go. One. Don't need you anymore. So that should be boosting our robot production. Are these robots able to request frames, or are we just building frames to sit somewhere? I suspect we're just building frames to sit somewhere. Yeah. How about we request in frames? Should sort it out. How are you going for frames? We should certainly be making a lot more frames than we were not very long ago. Go. So how's the production of these things now? 25 construction bots per minute. For some reason 35 logistic bots per minute. That's interesting. 60 frames a minute, I guess that makes sense. See if that gets any better. Let's look at our other resources. Green science has been making a bit of a recovery. It's more than red science, it's incredible. What about 17,000 efficiency 3? So they're currently supposed to be building up to 30,000. Blue's down a bit because we applied a whole lot of blue into our new copper mine. And I think this is jumping around because various roboports getting turned on and off. And as you can see, we're building up quite a buffer of space science right now. Let's have a look at our production stats. Not too bad, 100,000 plus green circuits a minute. Wow, green is up to my expected limit, I guess, 10,000 per minute. That's the design spec. Shame red science isn't keeping up, but this certainly could have something to do with why green is catching up and why we seem to be getting through faster than light theory B, a little bit faster now than we were. And let's check power, because I think we've got issues with power. That would tend to suggest that we're doing okay. I am thinking though that power is kind of, every now and then it fluctuates. Like we've got 18, if I finished it, let's actually check that too. I'm not sure if I finished off. I added in some extra, and yes, I did finish it off. So we now have 18. There's no room to go over here any further. That's pretty small. I may actually build some accumulators, just so when the power graph fluctuates, if it fluctuates over the amount that we can supply, which is not that hard for it to do, and probably when we have enough bots for our new copper mine we will start getting there. Then, because it's fluctuating so much, nuclear's producing in a constant way, accumulators can charge while it's below the maximum nuclear output of 18 point something, and if it fluctuates over that level, then the accumulators can bear the brunt of the burden rather than our UPS. You can see we're clear at least of 20 while power is under control, but if power surges past our limit, then this of course hits a problem which I'd rather avoid. So that's perhaps something that I can deal with in the next episode. Let me just see if we're starting to make any better progress over here before I close out this one. We're at 422. Doesn't look like it's hit yet in terms of obviously speeding things up. And the other thing, of course, was the 1.2, so it has moved. It was 1.3, so maybe this will finish and everything will start speeding up for us. I guess though that will have to wait for the next episode, so thanks for joining me and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.